Iron Toast here to talk about Pawn Tier Champions, Netflix Daredevil. Now, for most of us, it takes a couple weeks or maybe longer to get a shiny new 5-star champion, but Kabam has a habit of dropping turds like this in our lap. Netflix Daredevil. I guess it's just regular Daredevil now. I mean, now that the show's been canceled, and actually, speaking of the show's actually pretty darn good. If you haven't checked it out, the acting is pretty decent, the action is good, the costumes, all that stuff, it's, I don't know, believable in a sense, if you will, but if you haven't watched it, go out there and do so, it's very good. Anyway, in spite of its awesomeness, getting the champ in the game is kind of like a kick to the head. But are there any redeeming qualities? Is there any use for him in the game? Well, I guess the answer is maybe, kind of, sort of. Overall, he's not that great, but let's take a look anyway. So, his synergy, the only really good one in there is probably Punisher, just because it's reciprocal if you put the Punisher on there. As far as his ability goes, he has additional physical resistance, pretty decent perfect block chance, a persistent precision charge, sometimes evade stuff, but his real bread and butter is that armor break. His armor break is what his block heavy is really all about. As far as other synergies go, there is She-Hulk. She helps increase the chance of stuns, but the Netflix Daredevil already has a 100% chance on his specials, so probably not worth it. Now, I know that applies to the rest of the champions in your team, but for the sake of this video, not really worthwhile. Kingpin actually is a good synergy. It adds 40% duration to the armor breaks. That is really helpful if you're really trying to stack them up, or if you're just having fun with the character. Alternatively, Massacre also adds to it. It's only 25% additional, but by the time it's all said and done, the heavy attack armor breaks get up to over 20 seconds, almost 25 seconds apiece, if you have all the synergies in place.
Armor break, disappointingly though, it takes about 8 or 10 armor breaks to equal one of original Thor's armor breaks. So overall, not that powerful, but you can sustain it. But well, we'll just see. He might have some other uses anyway. So this is how it works. Stun, and what I find to be most effective is when you do stun the champ, first hit him with the medium and then throw the heavy in there, because you get a good chance of getting 2 in there. My first 2 were not lucky, but right there you saw it. I got the medium armor break, and then I got a heavy one right afterwards. So that's pretty much rinse and repeat at this point. The downside of this is if you come across an opponent that's stun immune, he's practically worthless. So, am I saying the Netflix Daredevil is good? No, not really. He's cool, he looks good, but he doesn't really have much use in the game outside of some very specific scenarios. There's his 100% stun chance there. I'll show you on Winter Soldier too. And in this particular case, I have all the synergies on from Kingpin and Massacre, and you can see right there, you got 10 armor breaks at once. I think the highest I've ever seen it gone is maybe 11. I mean, I might have seen like a split second of 12 before, but you kind of max out at some point because they only hold on for so long. And the problem is they keep throwing specials, and so you're not able to stack anymore. One hidden ability of Daredevil, it kind of makes sense if you think about it, but they don't really advertise it, is he deals well with invisible champs. Hood is probably one of the first ones. He might have been the first one, but the point of it is when they do go invisible, you can still wail on him with Daredevil. Obviously he's blind, so you can just go to town. You can't see him anyway. Pretty helpful fact. If the Hood is one of those champions that's difficult for you for some reason, I mean, go for it. Another addition to the game that's more relevant right now that also goes invisible is the Darkhawk character. Now, you can see here he likes to go stealth all the time. He starts out that way in the boss fight, and every time he reels off that special 2, he comes back into stealth mode. And as he cycles between his power bars, you might even get another stealth mode in the middle there. But regardless, same concept. Daredevil doesn't really care. I mean, he can attack all day. Pretty helpful actually for this fight. I've seen some people beat Darkhawk completely with the Daredevil or the Netflix Daredevil. In this case, actually, the original Daredevil might work a little bit better, simply because he can also almost completely evade that first special from Darkhawk. So either one, just give it a try. So anyway, that's pretty much it on Daredevil. He's doesn't have a lot of utility in the game, but he can be helpful if you really struggle with those invisible champs. But overall, the original one is probably a little bit better just because he can evade those projectile specials. I hope you find this video helpful, or at least maybe it's something you didn't know and you learned. But subscribe to my channel and I'll be putting more stuff out soon enough. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.